What's going on, everyone? I am not your friend guy. I'm a below average theory crafter, subpar speedrunner, and semi decent ladder grinder, with my team and I having multiple top 10 overall finishes under our belt for my favorite game on the planet, Diablo 2. While my appreciation for speedrunning has grown of late, and I've even managed to weasel my way onto some at the time world record co-op runs, the true draw for me to this game is season resets and the corresponding ladder race. Speedrunning is fun, but the ability to grind good starts and aggressively reset to push times down is a slight turnoff for me. For context, there have been more world records broken in the past 3 months for speedrunning than there have been ladder seasons in total for Diablo 2 Resurrected. The season reset really gives off a tournament vibe, and that really appeals to me. So much so that in season 5, my friend and I started a Discord. There, I go by the alias Yi.
Sí, allí.
We were having trouble really reaching the positions on the leaderboard we were aiming for. And what we lacked were some like minded individuals to grind with. We were honestly shocked to find that like minded to us was few and far between. You see, we believe in legit gaming, and it had become clear that we were in the minority on this topic. Turns out, we're the only ones pushing the ladder without cheating. We started to find that all of the top competitors were really putting us at a disadvantage this way, and that's what I'm here to yap about. I've thought about making this video for a while now. I've been hesitant because I'm not a streamer or a YouTuber or anything, and it's likely no one even cares about what I'm going to talk about. But while you might not give a shit,
I do give a shit. I give lots of shits.
so with those introductions out of the way, let's get to yapping. If you're not familiar, the ladder game mode is one that isolates your character onto servers where only other characters created and items found in that mode for that season can be used. The restart of a season creates the feeling of a fresh game release where every player is starting from scratch. The ladder comes with a leaderboard of characters who are basically racing to max level, and at the start of the season, the leaderboard is also cleared and the competition begins all over again. Every good competition needs a set of rules to follow that ensures that it is both fun and fair. After all, no one likes a cheater. Even so, it appears no one knows what the rules are, or, most commonly, they know and they don't care, or my personal favorite, they know and are in denial about how they're breaking them. With any competition, the rules are the responsibility of the sanctioning body of said competition. Speedrunning, for example, is something not sanctioned by Blizzard, so there's no reason for Blizzard to put forth a formal rule set. Instead, the community came together, decided on a set of rules, put in place moderators and verifiers to make sure the rules were followed when someone decides to enter the competition, and all of that can be seen on speedrun.com. Therefore, speedrun.com is the sanctioning body of speedrunning for Diablo 2. But with the ladder race, since it's provided and recorded by the game itself, the sanctioning body is Blizzard, which means that Blizzard is responsible for providing a set of rules and regulations for competing in their event. So, what are these rules? Well, there's not a ladder race rule set per se, but there doesn't need to be. There's already a very complete and thorough list of rules and regulations for playing the game Diablo 2. And since the ladder is just an internal entity of playing that game, then those are the rules that we can very definitively say are the ones for racing the ladder. This rule set is called the Terms of Service. The End User License Agreement provides all the rules required for playing the game, points out that any violation of these rules can result in a revocation of your license, which implies that breaking these rules should invalidate any position you would have taken on the ladder leaderboard, the same way that rule violations are subject to disqualification from any other regular competition. There's two very specific rules I'm going to touch on. These are the most commonly used and overall accepted forms of cheating. Now, this first one is an almost overly debated topic, but it's D2 JSP, and more specifically, the use of forum gold. JSP, as a forum, is a completely fine website. Having a place where players can go to congregate for better visibility of what's going on in the community or in the game is in no way, shape, or form detrimental. Unfortunately, once forum gold enters the chat, everything goes to shit. For starters, it's paying to win. Every piece of forum gold in existence today was purchased at some point in time with real money. Even if you didn't buy any, it's just real money that's changed hands more than once. With all the disagreements that exist in the gaming world, the one thing that everyone seems to agree on is that you don't pay to win. But putting aside that it's quite literally a pay to win entity, it's very directly in violation of the TOS, aka the rules. The rules clearly state that commercial uses are prohibited, and it clarifies that with gathering in-game currency, items, or resources for sale outside of the platform or the games. Now, when people read this, they say, well, I didn't sell anything. Forum gold isn't a real thing. Bro, at this point, FG has become more real than the majority of cryptocurrencies, which admittedly is impressive, but still makes any use of it cheating. Additionally, it really is not in the spirit of the reset. Forum gold doesn't reset each season like servers do, which means that all the forum gold used to purchase in-season items guaranteed came from prior seasons, or even from other games. I found it both ironic and sad that people are unable to connect the dots on this. If I started a fresh ladder character right as the reset went live, and that ladder character opens up their shared stash to see this, everyone would lose their freaking minds. But if I change this stash tab to look like this, that's just good old fashioned grinding. The illusion is that these two screenshots are exactly the same, and the forum gold spent on this season's items are just items from previous seasons in disguise.
Same, but different. But still same.
The second rule that I see on an insanely constant basis is the use of alternate accounts or loaders to help fill games. The game has a very good reward system for anyone brave enough to play with other people. The idea being that you take on the risk of bringing other people into your game, the risk being you might not get the really good drop, or that they might hostile and try and kill you, and the reward for said risk is that your drop weight gets increased, and more importantly for the ladder race, your XP reward gets increased. Unfortunately, instead of actually playing with other people, players have opted to trick the game into thinking they're playing with other people in order to gain all of the rewards without taking on any of the risk. The way to trick the game into thinking you have friends is to buy more accounts and then use a process editor software to allow all of your accounts to run on the same machine at one time. Side note, buying more accounts is just another form of paying to win, and as we said earlier in the forum gold rant, paying to win equals not cool. Now, this one gets a little more pushback than the previous, with many arguments being provided to support its alleged legality. For example, Blizzard has previously taken an official position on multiboxing, but that stance was specific to World of Warcraft at the time, and I can't find any evidence that this position is shared by Blizzard on any other of their official titles. This forces me to defer to the idea that until explicitly stated, multiboxing is allowed for WoW, but not permitted for all Blizzard games. Some subscribe to the idea that loading is okay as long as you do not use any automated processes on your loaded accounts. And this is a legitimate effort, because here, under the section labeled cheating, the TOS very explicitly states that any automated control of a game or feature of the platform is prohibited.
And you have to keep reading.
Take a look at bullet 4. Any code and or software not expressly authorized by Blizzard that can be used in connection with the platform and or any component or feature thereof which changes and or facilitates the gameplay or other functionality. Now the last part is key, other functionality. Now, the platform is defined in this document as the Blizzard launcher or BattleNet application. Its specific functionality is that only one instance of it can be running on any given device, which means that using any type of process manipulation to terminate the processes of the platform such that it runs more than once on a single device is in direct violation of this rule. Now, there is some ambiguous language here, and I did, in fact, reach out to the Blizzard legal team to see if I could get clarification on what is a device. The TOS does state that you can install components and features of the platform on one or more computers or mobile devices, but it never tells anyone what a computer or mobile device actually is. Can I use a virtual machine? Can I use a remote desktop? Just because you're controlling them from a single screen doesn't make them the same device. Predictably, my email did not garner a response. While these ambiguous tactics could be utilized by someone out there, the people who I've talked to who have been kind enough to share how they do it are not using any of those things, and they're just running everything off of the same machine using process termination. It starts to really get dirty when you consider that loaders can be combined with JSP services. The old downside to loading was that eventually you needed to stop pushing your character so that you could take the time to get your alternate accounts into hell so that you could then use those alternate accounts when you decided to run your push character some more. But through the wonders of pay to win cheating, you can give someone on JSP access to your accounts so that they can get them into hell difficulty while you never miss a beat on your push character. So as an added bonus to this video, we just covered account sharing, which is another commonly practiced violation of the TOS. Now, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and most of them using these things in some form or fashion. First, I want to say that the things I've covered up until this point are not my opinions or interpretations of anything. All I did was just clearly define what's right in front of me. The ladder race. Races are competitions. Competition requires rules. Rules for this competition are the rules for playing a game, ergo, the terms of service. Inside the terms of service, it very specifically says, don't change how the platform functions. I didn't have to interpret anything, and I didn't inject my opinion anywhere. When our Discord runs the ladder, we don't leave anything up to interpretation. It's the only way to truly claim legitimacy and not be able to be refuted. If you ever find yourself thinking, well, this just isn't how I interpret the rule,
I misinterpreted the rules.
that is literally your conscience telling you you're cheating, and you're just refusing to admit it to yourself. Second, I want to reiterate that these rules, in my opinion, only apply when you are racing the ladder. If you have no intention of putting your character on the leaderboard and solidifying your spot as a 99 for the season, then use these things to your heart's desire. At that point, you're just playing the game. You're not participating in any competition. Without the competition, there's not a necessity for rules. And I'm not going to tell you how to play your game. You're just out here having a good time. And I love that for you. So that's where I've drawn the line. Other people have said to me, look, man, rules are rules. These are the rules for playing the game. If you're breaking them, you're cheating. I can't really argue that, but I don't go that far. People have also tried to present counter arguments like it's impossible for a single person to compete if they don't do these things. Unfortunately, those people are 100% correct. You can't achieve ladder greatness by yourself without cheating. This was the main reason we started a Discord. What most do not understand, and something we had to learn the hard way, was that the ladder race itself was never meant to be won by a single person. It's always been a team event. Blizzard has undeniably confirmed this with the announcement of the Infernal race back in Season 1. We know this for certain because the winner of that race was Teo 1904, who was not named here in the official race announcement. He was recruited by one of the team leaders and piloted that team's dedicated 99 character. Blizzard Entertainment contacted these competitors and told them, get your teams ready, because they understood that rank 1 overall is a team accomplishment. And this is something I preach to my Discord on a cadence that probably makes them sick of hearing it. If you want ladder season victory and you don't want to cheat, you gotta rally behind one person and understand that while your name is not technically at the top, the person there wouldn't be there without you. The dude in the pit crew changing the tires is just as integral as the driver driving the car. Even though the driver is the one on the podium at the end of the race, he doesn't get there if he has to change his own tires. Now, I can feel the haters out there thinking that I'm just saying this for my own personal gain and pushing my way to the top. But I'm not saying any of it because I want to get boosted. In fact, I'd rather not. And in our first 4 rank 1 push attempts, I lived the pit crew life. You see, I was doing all the recruiting, trying to get more people to join the team, support the cause, and I felt like it would come across poorly if the person doing the recruiting was also the person reaping the benefits. But my team told me they wouldn't run anymore unless I agreed to be the one to push to 99. And that's where we are now. The most common counterpoint that I get from people is that everybody does these things, and Blizzard knows everyone does these things, and Blizzard doesn't care because they ain't doing anything about it. And this one was interesting because I do agree with the idea that the lack of enforcement of a rule invalidates the rule. However, it was as recently as Season 10, bannings had taken place, and the top spot on the ladder was even removed for violating the TOS. Now, this is important in 2 ways. Way number 1, Blizzard doesn't have to specify what part of the TOS was violated. All they have to do is say you violated it, which makes the document one whole entity. And that means that every rule within the document is just as valid and just as enforced as every other rule in the document. And by doing this, they have set the precedent that rules are in fact enforced. They're not enforced on a super global scale, but they are enforced. The best real world example of this would be the speed limit. The vast majority of drivers are not following the speed limit. Yet every day, someone somewhere is pulled over for speeding. And while a very small portion of people are being punished relative to the large amount of people who are speeding, it doesn't justify anything for those people who are speeding. Now, at this point, I shouldn't even have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, since it's what everyone is thinking. If you're using any of these methods to attain ladder success, what you are doing is not impressive and it's not special. What exactly did you accomplish? It's not like you overcame some insane grind. Sure, the path to 99 is long, but if you just pay your way past the part where you need to collect the specific items so that your character and XP progression can maintain velocity above everyone else, you didn't do anything. Even more so, if you're just playing by yourself but getting the unearned max reward that's making you 3 times faster than you deserve to be, you also didn't accomplish anything. So what skill was involved? What sweet new strategy did you use or create to separate yourself from everyone else? If we're being completely honest, you're actually just being lazy and underachieving. Just go pay Taobao Valley Online Gaming and they'll get you to the top in a hurry. Real gamers, they don't need this stuff, and true grinders refuse to use it. Some of the best Diablo 2 grinders in the world that I've talked to have stopped participating because they know how bad it's gotten and they don't want to do anything to validate it. So there you have it. A Diablo 2 ladder State of the Union address from just a dude that likes playing the game and wants to see everyone compete on the same playing field. At the time of recording this, Season 12 is right around the corner. My team and I will again be giving it our best shot to grind our way to the top. You can catch all that live on Twitch. Myself, some of the teammates, I'll put some links down in the description. And if this video spoke to you in only ways that people with integrity can comprehend, feel free to come check us out in the Discord, also linked in the description below. Video was much longer than I had hoped, but if you got this far, thanks for hanging in there, and we'll see ya on the leaderboards.